we are recording.
Excellent. You guys, welcome. Thank you for joining us here live today. We're going to keep everybody muted, so hold your questions till the end. We'll open it up to a Q&A at the end. This is today's topic is going to be on Joe, you keep muting me. Okay, now I'm muted. So luxury home marketing 101. So you got a luxury listing. We're not going to talk about how to get luxury listings. We're going to talk about how to market luxury listings. So luxury listings, you've got that luxury listing, now what? We all know luxury sellers are super easy to deal with. They have no issues. They're not going to be riding you hard. They're not going to be telling you how to do your job ever, of course. But we're going to talk about how you can take control of that conversation and kind of show off. Again, I am not someone to have someone focus on me, but we want you to focus back on your seller and what you're doing for them, so they can be your best advocate, your biggest fan, and refer you to all of their friends and neighbors as you go to sell their properties as well. So this is just the basics to get started of what you need to do. So what I'm going to do here is talk about some of the issues in luxury. Now, when I say luxury, we have some clients, not anybody here on this call, you have some clients that are very picky, very needy, very opinionated on how you should do your job. Or Mr. Lelis and I were speaking yesterday. A home has been on the market for 3 days, and what have you done for me lately? Well, it's been on the market for 3 days, so just patience is a virtue. So anyway, we're going to talk about how to best practices, how to get this off with a bang, how to make sure that you're covering your bases and you're really focusing on luxury. And the reason we call this the luxury class is we're going to spend some money. Okay, so don't freak out, don't run away. We're going to spend a little bit of money to make a little money. Okay, so that's the best practices. Part 2 of this series will go into my luxury listing has been on the market for 6 months, a year. Now what? So this one is just the basics to get started. So of course, what we need to know is to make sure, first and foremost, we have the best photography out there. Okay. And you might want to order things like the Twilight Tour. You might want to order things like the Matterport. We have a new offering via Spotlight is a 3D tour of Matterport, meaning before with Matterport, we could kind of click through and walk through the houses and go to the rooms that we want to, kind of the dollhouse structure where we could flip it around and check it out and look at different angles. The 3D tour now has a virtual video of actually walking through the front door, into the kitchen, going into the bedrooms, and it just is an ongoing video as if they were standing there. So that's an option for you to consider also. I'm not going to go into details on photography. We can do a different class on that, but make sure we are ordering the proper tours. We are ordering the upgrades and making sure that you are there. You are present at the photo shoot. I can't tell you how many times we get a frustrated agent because they weren't at the photo tour and we forgot to get a shot of the backyard spa as if you were sitting in it. And those are the type of things where you should be there and help that photographer understand the value and the uniqueness of that home. So keep that in mind. We're not going to go into all those details. Again, I bet a lot of people on this call and listening to this recording could give their own class on photography. So we're gonna skip that today, but making sure that you are aware that the best practices for that first impression of the home is the photos. I also want to make sure that people know that the hero shot, the first shot in the tour, is what they're going to land on, what they're going to see on Zillow, what they're going to pull up when they click through one of your emails. So make sure that hero shot is something special. whether it's that, you know, amazing twilight shot of the exterior, or it's the grand ballroom. Yes, we have a home listed right now with a grand ballroom. I didn't know it existed in a residence, but it does. And or what kind of sets it apart? What makes it unique? So maybe it's the grounds, maybe it's the aerial shot of the amazing yard. But just think through that process when you go to put those photos on.
Jamie, can I jump in here for a second?
Yes. Sprinkle.
Sprinkle. One of the coolest things about luxury listings, and Jamie and I haven't sold luxury listings, but we've toured quite a bit of them. And we also see a lot of the photography that goes on whenever somebody has a luxury listing. I see Shane and Amy nodding their heads as well. One of the things that we've noticed is that the best luxury agents are the ones that tend to not only be there at the photo shoot, but have already pre-designed a couple of the hero shots that Jamie is talking about. So the agents have walked the home. There's a very particular view. Maybe it's on the east side of the deck and it's looking out at a certain time of day. There's a special kind of cabinetry or something. And that goes to the importance of saying, make sure that you as the agent, you know and understand that property, you know and understand that home. And if someone were to, you know, kind of grab you in the elevator and say, hey, I got that listing on 123, what really makes that place special? You should be able to say it like that on any one of these things. And then when the photographer shows up, they'll do all the shots that we need, right? The MLS needs certain shots. You need to show the hallway, bathrooms, what all that kind of stuff like that. But there's 2 or 3 of those hero shots that Jamie's talking about. And the best thing you can do as an agent is identify this is something special in the house, and then let the photographer's artist eye take that site or whatever it is that you pointed out, and then shoot it in some certain way. But that luxury, it's not just luxury, it's not just a price point, it's an experience. And you being on property and you guiding the photography shoot and you telling the homeowners, this is what we did, this is why we did it. That's part of our brand, the luxury brand, right? And so just remember that as you're kind of pointing out that you ultimately are responsible for what that house looks and feels like, because as the luxury agent, you should be able to clearly point out the things that make that home luxury, not just where it is or not just the price point.
You got it, Joe. Very good point. Also, making sure, guys, we're so busy. You're so busy. We get it. If you're selling luxury houses, you are busy right now. I don't know when that's going to change, but guess what? We're going to ride this wave as long as we can. So take a moment, take a deep breath, and make that client feel like they're your only client right now. I know that's hard. I am guilty of it as well. You guys are my clients. I want to make sure that you guys are happy and supported, but your clients want to feel that. And that is part of your marketing strategy, okay? So speaking from a marketing perspective and a marketer for life, I've been in, director of communications and got a degree in communications and business. And everything you do is marketing. It's marketing yourself, how you talk, how you present yourself, what you wear. It's all your marketing. It's all your identity. You're going to stand on the Berkshire Hathaway brand and you're going to exude your marketing, okay? How you respond to texts or don't, how you communicate via email or lack thereof. All of that is your marketing for yourself. But when we go to market a luxury listing, we want a very specific plan, because we know that these luxury clients, luxury sellers, it's all business to them. Yes, they have their perfectly designed, unique, custom home. And it's gonna take a very specific buyer to buy that home. I'm thinking also of an $18 million listing we have in Charleston. Where's Charleston? Yes, there is a Charleston, Utah. And it's an $18 million home and it is perfect. Every detail is custom to this owner, but now he's going to sell it. So he's becoming not just a home owner, he's becoming a home seller, and what he has to think through to get that right buyer in, okay? And maybe there is a huge BYU decal stuck on the 5-car garage floor, and it takes up 6 spaces and is huge. Well, guess what? A Utes fan walks in there and they're gonna wanna vomit. So anyway, we're just gonna think through these issues and help your client understand that. So the first thing we're going to talk about in a little bit more detail is one, how to become a luxury collection specialist. There is a designation via Berkshire Hathaway for a luxury collection specialist. And I'm going to get with Amy Hobbs and Shane Dodge here on the call today to show you some of those assets, to show you some of the privileges that you get as being a luxury collection specialist. But if you really want to be in this realm, and Rachel, you and I spoke about careful what you wish for, careful what you wish for being a luxury collection specialist and selling luxury listings, because it comes with its own baggage. It comes with its own headaches. It comes with its own details. But you guys are the pros. We want to make sure that you can exude that in a variety of ways. So the first thing I want to talk about here today is how to become a luxury collection specialist. Now, what we're going to do here today is not a tutorial of all the details, the step-by-step instructions. This is the overview. This is the best practices of all the things you should be doing. And then if you have questions on how to do those things, those are either in other videos, or you can also call me or Joe or Amy or Shane, or email marketing@bhhsutah.com, and we'll go from there. Joe, Mr. Lowry, sir, I cannot share my screen. It says I'm disabled to attend screen sharing.
Why would I dare do that? Okay, there we go.
I am the co-host. Oh, look at that, Mr. Lowry, sir.
Does that Charleston House, is that the one with the grand ballroom? I just want to know if $18 million buys you a grand ballroom.
No, it's not. The $18 million house doesn't have a grand ballroom. It has everything else, just not the grand ballroom.
Is the owner like a big hairy guy that runs around and has a special flower under a glass or something? I'm just curious.
Yes, and he's looking for his princess in a yellow dress. Okay, so can everyone see my screen here? I'm on the intranet. Yes, okay, great. So I'm gonna go down here, I'm gonna go to the Resource Center. So the Resource Center and the intranet. For just a reminder, what's the difference between the two? The intranet is the process for Utah properties. So for all of us, this is our brokerage. The Resource Center that you're seeing now is Berkshire Hathaway as a whole, the global network. So Berkshire Hathaway has given us as brokerage, as franchisees, the ability to have these assets with us. So again, intranet is me and Joe and the marketing team, and the Resource Center is the resources from the network. So I'm going to come up here and look at this little button. So we always talk about marketing resource. You guys are very familiar with this button here, but I'm going to go to luxury collection. So once we click on luxury collection, I'm just going to show you how to fill out that form. Okay. And all you need to do is, okay, agent designation overview. So luxury agent designation overview. Don't spend too much time here. Read this over. That's how you become the luxury collection specialist. But again, you might fall asleep reading that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to this luxury collection application. And guess what? It's really hard. It's really difficult to become a luxury agent specialist. I'm just kidding. It's super easy. It comes to me, the application then comes directly to me, and I go click, click, you're approved. Okay, it takes about 48 hours to go through the system and become a specialist. So I just want you to see, these are recently approved. These are rejected. Oh, look, oh my gosh. Expiring, automatically I re-up you. Unless you really make me mad, then I don't re-up you. I'm just kidding. Again, you mostly get, but you're gonna see something slightly different. You're gonna see an application process. And what I wanna make sure that you can do is go into that application, submit your things, and basically all you have to do is show that you've sold a couple expensive properties. So you give me the address, you give me the price point, you say, I'm committed to being a luxury collection specialist. I've read a book, I've attended a class, and guess what? This is a class on luxury collections. and best practices. So you can say, I attended the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Utah Properties luxury best practices, luxury marketing best practices. So they want to make sure that you're legit, and I want to make sure you're legit. And it just takes another step for you to submit that application, and it means you're serious, right? It's like, yeah, Jamie, I'm going to sell that stuff all day long, but I want you to take that time to submit that application to say, I'm in it. I'm in it for life. This is what I'm doing. This is my career. This is not a hobby on the side. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm making my money. This is how I'm saving for the future. This is how I'm putting a roof over my head. This is how I'm feeding my children. This is my career. Okay, so I just want you to take that time, submit that application. I hope I see some later today or tomorrow as you submit those applications, and make sure that you go into the resource center and do that. Okay, so now you're a luxury collection specialist. I'm going to turn it over to Amy Hobbs, our marketing specialist and also our platforms manager, to show you how to order the first components of the luxury marketing packages. Go ahead, Amy.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Yes? Okay. Hi, everyone. It's good to see everyone and good to see a lot of our newer agents here. So I'm just going to share my screen here and walk you through some luxury. Let's see, how do I, share. Okay. All right. So here is my screen. So again, this is the intranet. And as you guys might notice, we've kind of done some updating and streamlining of this. So you can just go right down to this marketing request button. And if you click that, it's going to take you to the new listing marketing requests. So a lot of you guys do for, just kind of your normal properties, a double-sided flyer. You might do a property brochure, which is 11 by 17 folded. But what we've also added here now is a multi-page brochure. So, again, if you're dealing with a, multi-million-dollar property, you've got lots of great photography, you've worked with your photographer, gotten all that, you want to be able to showcase that and highlight it. So if you click the multi-page brochure, you'll see it comes up with how many pages in the brochure do you want. You can choose an 8-page, they're $2.50 each. You could choose a 12-page, $5 each. It's up to you. But let's just say we wanted an 8-page, and then you can also choose the orientation, whether you want a vertical or a horizontal. Just maybe kind of differentiate it a little bit. And a lot of times with luxury, we like to just kind of just do some more custom work for you guys. So it really can highlight the property in the best way.
And again, such a good point, Amy. And I want to let you guys know, I ran an advertising agency for a decade before I came to work with this amazing group of people. And we would charge $8,500 for a brochure sometimes, or $10,000 for a brochure. And that doesn't include printing. So I only mention that because you are very fortunate to have the access to your luxury marketing team. And that's what I want you to also be able to talk about, is it's not just you, Todd Porter, out there churning and burning and talking to clients. Yes, you are the face to your client. However, you have a whole luxury marketing team at your fingertips supporting you, that you can stand on our shoulders and sing to the world. So if you don't think you can do all of these things, you don't have to. You need to sell, you need to take care of your client, you need to do the best that you can on the front side, and know and talk about the support that you have on the back end. Keep going, Amy.
Okay. Yeah. So, and again, you'll just fill out this form as you normally do. I mean, this looks probably very familiar to all of you. The thing that I want to point out, which is a feature for a luxury listing, is down here in the special instructions and needs. If you would like, you can ask us to please create a digital flip book, a digital brochure for you. And that is something we do for you free of charge. I mean, the company covers the cost, but it is a great product, and I'm going to show you one.
Wait, Amy, do I have to say please? in the request?
We prefer please, but you know.
And
Yeah.
guys, just on that note, we are humans. We are not a system or a computer algorithm in the back end here. We are humans. So I'm telling you, please and thank you go a long way.
We like that. We like that. So this is a digital brochure we did. As you can see, once you're a designated luxury collection specialist agent, you are able to use this nice luxury collection logo. And then I am going to, let's see, okay. So then this is the digital brochure. So as you can see, we can flip through the pages. And you know, you'll notice this is still within the Berkshire branding. However, we're able to do a little custom work, showcasing, you know, more features of, you know, different rooms in the home, different photo layouts. And again, you know, we're all professional designers. We do this a lot. We love doing this. If you guys have specific rooms you want to highlight, again, kind of back to the photos, views that you want to highlight, let us know that, because that really helps us in our design. Or if you want a really contemporary look, or if you want more of a, whatever, I don't know, fancy look, we can do that too. So anyway, and you can see too, we can put in some floor plans if that's what you want, some amenities, some features. So it really allows you to customize this brochure for your luxury listing.
Yeah, and think of that lifestyle, right? That you saw
Right.
on that last page that there was a picture of Deer Valley skiing up in the upper left-hand corner. You know, tell us what you want. If you are, you know, again, we haven't been to this home. You have been to your luxury home, and talk about the lifestyle. It's walkable in Sugar House. You can walk to downtown. You can walk to Main Street. Things of that nature that we wouldn't know because we're not there. And you let us know that, and we can put that in the brochure. And guess what? Your clients love that. Your clients will love that you're not only selling their house, you're selling the lifestyle of living in that house.
On that point, Jamie and Amy, which probably should be a podcast now, Jamie and Amy. If you're not sure how to do that really well, I would strongly encourage you to just attend the Park City Zoom meeting on Tuesdays, the sales meeting. The Park City agents have built a culture in our brokerage about how to describe the house, to do the square footage, to do the beds and the baths and the address and the pricing. But most of their time spent when they review a listing is exactly what Jamie and Amy just pointed out. It's the unique parts of the home and the description of the lifestyle the home provides. And you know, to a person, I think every time that we see a listing in the Park City sales presentation, you hear the experts talk about that. And so if you're not quite sure what your individual verbiage is, or how do you explain a certain style inside, you know, new mountain modern, or this is a classic build, they're very good at talking about architects and designers and why a particular house has that luxury feel, again, beyond the geography and beyond the price point. And so that's a great way. You're totally welcome. You can just hit the link on the intranet and come listen in on any one of those. They're 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning, and you'll get a really good education on how to do that really well.
Yeah, great point. Great point. So, and another really good thing about these digital brochures is, so you have a digital brochure, right? What are you going to do with it? Well, if you can we'll send you a tiny little URL, a link. You can put it on advertising, any advertising you do. You can put it on social media. You can, you know, you can send it to your SOI. You can send it to all the realtors you know. And you can also share that link with your clients. And not only will they be completely impressed with this wonderful brochure they have of their amazing listing or their amazing home, but then they can share it with their friends, with their family, you know, people that are looking to come to Park City as well. So it's just a really great addition to the printed version, and a really, especially in this day and age, just a great way to get it out to everyone around you.
Very good point, Amy. And thank you for your help. Amy, again, is a professional designer, graphic designer. She has been doing this her entire life, along with several people on our team. So again, you have those assets ready to work for you in this brokerage. I also want to make sure and highlight that point that Amy said. Social media, anyone that's ever had a baby, they show you their baby and they take pictures of their baby and they show it to you and they post it out to the world. The home is their baby. The luxury home is definitely their baby. So they like showing it off. And if you can give them a brochure of this caliber and encourage them to share it to their friends and family and anyone in their spheres, right? We want to make sure that people kind of stick together with people of their same likes and interests. So other people that, you know, an owner of a luxury home know other people that own luxury homes, and they might know other potential buyers. So encourage them to be a part of the process. I think if we encourage them, not just encourage them, but that's part of your marketing plan, right? Is to go into that listing and say, look, you're going to be a part of this, client. And yes, what am I going to do for you? I'm going to direct you and help you to help yourself as well. And you're going to take the ownership, of course, but you're also getting them involved. And I think that's a really important process that a lot of people kind of fail to communicate, is that the seller is a part of that process. And as more you can get them engaged, I know some of you are probably shaking your head going, Jamie, I don't want anything to do with my clients being engaged in this process. But at the same time, if you're clear up front that this takes a village, it takes people, it takes you, not only you, Joel Pack, but it's going to take the marketing team, right? Your marketing specialist, your VP of marketing is going to get involved. And you guys are going to also rely on them somewhat, right? You can't bank everything on the client doing what you say, because they won't all the time. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that they know that you have this comprehensive plan of action. Okay, so let's go into a plan, and thank you, Amy. The plan of action then is already on the intranet. Okay, and we're going to get into some of the details here in this plan. Okay, so we're half an hour in, Joe, and this is why we're doing a two-part series, guys. Part one is the basics, what you should do. We know we should order amazing photos. We know we should get our client involved. We know we should order that multi-page brochure and suggest that we also want that digital flip book to highlight. But what we want to do is down in docs and visuals also is we want to pull up those luxury marketing plans. And guess what? They're right here under marketing plans. I hope people know this. I think this is a very underused asset in our company. And by underused, I know who has visited this page, because Joe and I have analytics. We geek out on the numbers. We look to see who's clicked through. We're not spying on you. We're understanding what people are using. And I think this is an underused asset. Now, I know of 5 or 6 luxury agents that are doing a lot of luxury properties that use this and swear by it. So if you haven't used this yet, check it out. We go to marketing plans. And again, this is a custom Word doc. So you can change any of it. You don't want to do some components. And guess what? They're all already laid out in your letterhead. Okay, so the only difference between any of these is the address listed. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Old Mill Luxury Marketing Plan, which is the same thing as the Saddleview Luxury Marketing Plan, except for this address here at the bottom. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is up in the upper right-hand corner, I'm going to download it. What does downloading do, Joe? It allows me to download it, save it to my desktop, and then customize it. So,
you can put it on your phone, you can have it anywhere you want once you have a digital copy.
That's your, imagine that, Joe. You can have it wherever you need it.
Wherever you're working.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm a Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Luxury Collection Specialist. Joel Pack, you are the Outdoor Adventure Specialist, or Todd Porter, you are the advocate for life. I don't know. I just made that up. But you can make this be whatever you'd like it to be. But I'm putting this kind of verbiage and language because luxury home should be a luxury experience. This is the first line, and Joe touched on that. It should be a luxury experience. You should be taking control and guiding that direction, making sure they are already anxious about the process. You are going to hold their hand through the whole point, and you are the pro. So you're not relying on them to say, this is how you should market my home, although you'll hear them out. Of course, you'll listen to what they have to say, but you're going to say, I have a plan of attack, and I created this specifically for you, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Well, guess what? Jamie and the marketing team and Diane Reinhardt, we created this for you, but guess what? We're on your team. So you have to remember you have this luxury collection team, marketing specialist, people. Todd, you are a person that has dedicated your life to sales and lifestyle and that experience, but you have this marketing specialist team behind you. I want people to understand that and be able to communicate it. So then we're going to go in through our preliminary strategies. Create a branding strategy for your property and ensure unique positioning. And this is what Joe and I and Amy were just talking about, with making sure that we're talking about the unique aspects. We're talking about what it's like to live here. We're not talking about it's got 4 walls and a roof and a door that you can walk through. We're talking about how exciting it can be to have a house in Old Town that you can walk to Main Street and walk to galleries. Or we're talking about something out in Moab and near the golf course where you can have your own retreat and land and beautiful views of the Red Rocks. If anyone hasn't reviewed Rachel Moody's property descriptions, wow, she's got some talent there to really communicate the value of being in those luxury properties. Maybe you don't want to do a interactive floor plan. Guess what? You just delete it out. Print marketing and advertising. We're not going to go through this today, but I'm going to show you some of the options that you have. Social media, digital marketing and advertising. This is where a lot of people get hung up and they brush over this. I really want you to focus on and embrace some of the language that I use. Whether or not you can actually do that, that's what I'm here for. That's what Amy's here for. That's what Shane is here for. We are here to help you execute. But you need to be able to talk about the geo-targeting. And it sounds like a fancy word, but it's targeting people based on their geography, geo-targeting. Okay, so it's not that tricky. We just have to get beside and out of our own way to understand these components. We're going to talk about syndication. Everyone wants to know, guess what? Utah Properties is not just in Utah. We are global. We are understanding, making sure that anyone that wants to buy our listing, even if they're on Zillow, we're not huge fans of Zillow, but they're a huge player in our industry. We need to play by their rules too. And we do. We want anyone that is anywhere that might want to buy this listing to be able to find it, see it, preview it, and call you. We're going to schedule open houses, and we're also going to remember the benefits of the company. So I just want you to understand this, open this up, use this piece, and remember that it's there for you. So again, best practices is you then are getting that luxury listing, you're signing paperwork, or you're close to signing paperwork, you're using that marketing plan to say, look, I've already got this figured out. I'm not going to create it once we put it on the MLS. I'm already ahead of you, client, as you should be. So we want to make sure that we can really play those up. Okay, so the next component too is then we're going to talk about some of the assets in marketing resource. So we've done photos, we've done description, and we've done making sure that you understand and how to promote the marketing team. Again, you don't need to use my name. It's not about me. It's about you understanding the assets and the people behind you that can help you do this and that can help you close that deal and list that listing and then get it sold. So best practices too. Again, these are the basics. This is the starting point. We're going to go into some digital marketing, digital advertising components here. And I realize we're already running long. I don't know if anyone can tell. I'm passionate about this. I love this. This is my job. This is not just my job. This is my life. This is my family's life. We've made this a commitment to you guys, to making sure that we can help you in every possible way. And if you ever have any more ideas, I'm open. Call me, email me, text me. Let me know your ideas. I'd love to hear them. Now, I did have an idea, someone with a bad idea yesterday, but that's okay. No ideas are bad ideas. Let's talk it through and help me understand why you think it might be a good idea. I won't call anybody out on this in this call. Actually, nobody on this call has bad ideas. So, Joe knows, he's laughing because we have heard some.
I was just going to say, I think we can honestly say there are some ideas that are bad ideas.
Okay.
there are some, but remember, if you were here last week, hashtag listen to Jamie and Shane. That's a really, we can extend that all the way out to Amy and Melissa and everyone else in the marketing team. I mean, there's a reason why there are certain people that go into this field, and the way that they look at things and the way they understand how fonts and colors and photos and layouts make somebody feel. That's because ultimately, as a representative of a property, the numbers have to make sense. All that stuff has to make sense, and everyone who's ever bought a house has ultimately told themselves, well, logically this is a good idea, but you're making a decision based on emotion. And if you're thinking about $1 million plus property, in Sugar House or someplace else, the ability to tap into the talent that we have with the staff here at the brokerage, Jamie mentioned that before. I mean, having worked in many tech companies, the amount of money we pay designers and specialty marketing firms to be able to put together some of these things is extraordinary. And the fact that you have some of the best talent, not just in the state, but I'd put our team against anybody in the world. They're here for you. So if you're not quite sure, that there's something special about this property. Like we had one this Tuesday, we had somebody that was a very particular piece of land. It had, I think, 4 barns on it, Jamie. It was all about horses. I mean, the property was designed, built, marketed, everything about horses. I learned something, that there are things called geothermal heated horse troughs. So in the wintertime, the horses have fresh water that's heated from underneath the ground. And so if you think about something like that, that might not mean anything to you if you're not, a horse person, but the person who's going to come in and put down, $3 million for that property, that geothermal horse trough, they might be driving away going, man, because they're looking at the property, not just from the X's and O's and the spreadsheet values, they're looking at the property with, how is my family going to have Christmas here? How are we going to bring the 12 horses that I already own? Are they going to have room to run? How are my kids going to enjoy the school or the environment or any of those types of things? And ultimately, I think that if you've bought a house, right, on the other side of the table, if you've bought a house, there's a point where you're standing in the home and all the numbers have been run, or you're standing in the home and you don't even know the rest of the details, but it feels like the right decision. And so what we're talking about here in luxury marketing is creating those feelings before they even get to the house. So they're looking at that digital flip book. They're looking at your black luxury edition business card. Again, we're talking about, it can't just be geography and price point. It has to be the experience. And so the person that wants that experience and is looking for that particular feeling in that property, that's exactly what this team specializes in. And so remember that, even if you're not quite sure how to do that, you have an entire staff of people that are really good at that.
Thank you, Joe. Very good point. And not to toot our horn again, I want you guys to understand this team. I am a part of the marketing director group for all of Berkshire Hathaway, and people rely on us from other brokerages. They're going, what is Utah Properties doing? How do they do it? Jamie, what's the latest and greatest? They're looking to us. So you guys are on the cutting edge. Amy, how long have you worked with Berkshire Hathaway, Utah Properties, and also Prudential? How long have you been in this organization? 10 years. 10 years. This is not a job for Amy. This is her passion. This is her lifestyle. This is how, again, she puts food on the table for her kids and a roof over their heads. So this is our life, guys. And this is your life too. We want you to know we're in it with you. Okay, keeping on. Enough about us. Keeping on. I'm going to make sure that you guys have some takeaway items too. I also want you to think about, okay, so in addition, I'm not going into the how-tos. We're going to go into making sure, yes, you're posting it, your luxury property on Instagram and Facebook. You're going to have the right dimensions, Shane. We're not going to go into dimensions and specs and the best practices there. If you don't know what is going to look good on Instagram, ask us. We will show you. We will help you. I think we're underutilized. Again, we couldn't be busier right now, but we're underutilized in help me paint this picture of this luxury home. So I also want to draw your attention here on the intranet. You guys can all see my screen, yes? Excellent. Left-hand column, social media submissions. Now, we have a process. Again, we are a big company, but we also want to have that custom boutique feel and support for you guys. So we want to make sure that our Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn has some appeal to it. We cannot post every single one of our listings. That would just be a hodgepodge of craziness. And my fingers and Shane's fingers would fall off because we have so many listings. However, talking about unique, we have a lot of followers. We have a lot of eyeballs on our page. So think about your luxury listings and that social media submission. So this is a form that allows Shane and I and some of our digital specialists to consider your property for submission. So think about that unique aspect, okay? Think about that unique aspect where we say, look, it's about that east-facing deck view at 5:45 on the winter when the snow glistens off the, whatever ridge. You think about that, and that will inspire us to say, we have to showcase this as a part of our listings. And we will say, and we will probably link back to that listing on our website and make sure that people understand and see that Utah Properties is not only posting things on social media. We have a vision, we have an appeal, we have a focus for how we're going to sell real estate. We're not selling real estate. Yes, we do also sell real estate, but we are selling a way of life. We're selling a lifestyle. We're selling a family Christmas experience, like Joe said, making sure that people understand that we get it. It's not about us or you, Mike Fondario, although it is kind of about Mike Fondario right now, if you can tell, Joe. So it's not really about you. It's really about our clients, okay? So consider that. Again, I would do this to all of my luxury listings is I'd ask my brokerage to say, help me sell this, right? That's the end goal. We get it. Yes, we want to paint those beautiful pictures, but consider that, that social media submission process. I also want to make sure that you guys understand, and I think it's gone by the wayside, but I'm going to bring it back, is there is a luxury submission process. Once you're a luxury collection specialist, so first you have to go to the resource center and apply to me, and I say yes, yes, so it's very easy, is to email luxury listings at hsffranchise.com. I'm going to send that out to everybody to make sure that you understand that, and all you have to do is send that same description that you have and then put it into an email to corporate, and then they have a luxury collection specialist Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest board. They are going to help you. Again, it's free. Now, a $250,000 studio flat in St. George is not going to make the luxury page on the Berkshire Hathaway site. However, some of our listings are incredible and will be considered and posted, okay? So I'll send that email address out to everybody so that you guys have that. that you can just simply email it out. It's free. You guys love that. It's free. Okay, so we should be doing that. I'm going to move to some digital advertising best practices, and gosh, we are just flying here. I want to make sure that you guys understand those strategic components. So one is the boost component. Okay, we're going to get into some paid options. I don't think everything needs a print ad. Okay, we're going to talk about that in step 2. Phase 2 of this process is print advertising. Yes, we should get into print advertising. There is still value there, but we want to make sure that we are doing the basics first, and the less expensive things for you that you can also report on to your clients. So Shane Dodge, you're coming up here soon on the reporting process. Oops. Joe and I are
hive mind. I'm so glad you remembered, because if you were to ask me what that password was, I don't think I could tell you.
Well, Joe, I got so many passwords, but we can have a password discussion at a later date. Okay, so Boost, guys, this is cheap. Joe and I pride ourselves on bringing tech and marketing components to you that are 1, effective, first and foremost, and 2, easy to use. Okay, so this is super easy. So I can see all these listings, but here are your listings, Jamie. Oh, open house listings. This is definitely something you should be doing. This is very inexpensive. Talk about a 3-day advertising run to advertise your open house. Guess what? You can advertise it to people that aren't in the area. Who cares if they can't attend your physical open house? They're still getting eyeballs on your listing. All you do is create a new listing ad and follow the bouncing ball, step-by-step instructions. Active listings. Again, these will show, if you are the primary listing agent, these will show only your listings. So you don't have to overthink it. Again, this is best practices, is I would boost those listings. If you need a tutorial on Boost, please refer to our Boost marketing class that's on the intranet. And those practices there. Again, back to the intranet. I also want to make sure that you guys understand the tech support component. You have an issue with your website, or you have an issue with your computer, that comes here. You have an issue with how to market a luxury listing, email marketing@bhhsutah.com and we can help you. Okay, don't fester or stay on by yourself. Okay, so now I'm going back to the resource center, BHHS Resource Center, and I'm going to go through a quick option for AdWorks. Okay, so everybody knows, show of hands, everybody knows that every single Berkshire Hathaway Home Services listing gets 7 days of free advertising via AdWorks. Everybody knows that, right? Everybody doesn't know that. Okay, so you already get 7 days free. This is the arrangement that corporate, and this is part of the brand value, is making sure that they understand that we are pushing those new listings. These are all new listings, not just luxury listings, but we're going to get into the luxury process here and what I'd recommend. Okay, so we come over here to these buttons, these fun little color buttons, and this is the app launcher over here. And I'm going to come down, you're going to see different things than me, but I'm going to go into AdWorks. Again, best practices. A luxury listing is not going to sell in 7 days. If you think it's going to, we need to have a therapy session, because it's not going to. If it does, wow, lucky you. But what you need to do is, it's going to say, hey, welcome, Mike. How you doing? This is my dashboard. These are my campaigns. My dashboard, we're going to go to ads for your listing, start a new campaign. You're going to enter that number. You're going to say, it's going to pull from the MLS. You're going to say, promote my listing. The reason it can have an MLS number is for clear cooperation rules. You can't start marketing and advertising a listing that is not public to everyone. So you have to make sure it is on the MLS first. So that's how it's going to pull in. You're going to select promote my listing. Now, one of the things with AdWorks is promote my listing. Yes, You can go through and fill in the blanks. However, there is a custom option as well. And that's where I want you to rely on the marketing department. You say marketing@bhhsutah.com. Can you please, and we underline please, can you please help me with a digital ad for AdWorks for my listing at 123 Main Street? Here's what I'd like to highlight. And here's the benefit. Okay, so it's not just 5 beds, 6 baths, $8 million, whatever the price is, right? It's not going to be that. It's going to be that lifestyle component. Imagine yourself here, or walkable to historic Main Street, or Adventurer's Delight down in Moab. It's going to have that feel from you. Otherwise, it can go through the template. Again, best practices, still AdWorks is amazing for every listing. However, you need to do it for luxury, and you need to do it in a way that really makes it stand out. Okay, I can't highlight this enough. And if you can't find something amazing about that home, maybe you shouldn't be listing it. Just think about that, okay? Now, if you can't find something lovely about that $7 million home, maybe you talk to me. Maybe we talk about some issues. So again, rely on your resources that you have. But best practices, make sure that you boost via social media and you advertise via digital advertising and AdWorks, okay? The great thing about AdWorks is making sure that you can, one, report back to your client, and we're going to get to reporting next because that is a huge component of luxury marketing. One, report back to your client, and two, you can also target your client. Now, I'm on the fence about this. Some clients will like this, some clients will not. However, you have a tech giant from San Francisco, and he's got a house in Draper. I'm not calling anyone specifically out, but you know who you are. You need to show off a little bit, okay? Even if you aren't at his tech speak level, you need to show off a little bit. So target your client. So what you do in AdWorks is you put in their email address, and it's not their work email address. Is joelowry@gmail.com, whatever their personal email is, and usually you have that. And if you don't, you ask for it politely, of course. Again, underline please. Amy, it's shocking how many times we're saying please on this call. So again, you put in their email address, and then what the amazing things do with technology is it sources that email address to their Facebook account, to their LinkedIn account, and it finds out based on their email address where they are searching for things, where they're finding their news, where they're going for information, where they're looking up COVID information, where they're what they're doing on their computer, and it identifies that down to a computer, and then it serves them up their own ads. So they're on CNN.com and they see a picture of their house and they say, wow, Jamie, that's incredible. How did you get my ad onto CNN.com? And they see their own ad, and guess what? Everyone loves seeing pictures of their own baby. So let's show them to that. Now, the reason I'm on the fence is some clients won't like that, and they won't like the daily reports coming from AdWorks. Me particularly, I would love that. I would love to see an update daily, automatically coming from AdWorks. However, I want you to make sure that you're on that list so that you're getting those same reports, or you're getting the reports and then forwarding them to your clients. Okay?
Jamie, that kind of technology sounds really expensive. How much does that cost for all of our agents?
So it is a complimentary platform. We've also negotiated reduced rates. It's based on impressions and time duration. So let's call it a month. For a month, you want to advertise your digital luxury listing. We're talking between $175 and $220. Is that too expensive, Joe?
No, I don't think that's very expensive, especially the whole first part that's free.
Yeah, free platform, and then you're paying for those digital advertisements. And you know what is really expensive is the custom design work that Amy, Shane, myself, Melissa do. How much is that, Joe?
I think that's probably free.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Probably free.
Imagine that. Again, my father-in-law, Steve Roney, he wants to make sure you guys are taken care of and we can showcase and highlight our properties and show off to our clients a little bit. Again, we won't say we're showing off, but guess what? All of this is showing off if you're doing it appropriately and strategically. Now, some people ask me, should I do Boost or AdWorks? Best practices, do both. Boost is for social media, AdWorks is for digital web advertisements, so other websites. But Facebook is also a website, if you didn't know that. Facebook is also a website, so we want to make sure that we're doing both. And a lot of people try to do one thing for a week, the next thing for a week, and then the next thing for a week, okay? I want you to combine them all and layer that up. Okay, so make sure that you're stacking up high, you're not stretching out long. In part 2, we're going to talk about the long game. But in part 1 here, we're stacking our marketing to make sure that we're hitting multiple mediums at once. We're really getting off to a bang with a splash and making sure that we're also doing, and we're going to move over to marketing resource for a moment, email marketing. And one of the biggest components with email marketing is making sure realtors know this is a new listing and they know the benefits, so you can help them sell your property to their clients, their buyers. So we're going to go into marketing resource. I'm going to turn it over here to my buddy Shane Dodge here in a moment to go over some of the luxury collection templates, how you can do this easy, quick of a button. Again, we're not going to show you how to do all of this stuff here today because you're a luxury collection specialist. You're going to know a lot of this already because you've been to many of our classes already. But we're also going to go through some of the processes to do all of these things. Amazing photography. We're going to do the boost advertising. We're going to do the AdWorks. We're going to go through making sure we have it on social media and we have all of these assets, these visual assets to then report on. So Shane, our digital content manager, is going to go over marketing resource, some of those templates, and how to report to your seller on a monthly basis. Go ahead, Shane.
Yeah, just to touch on what you were talking about before, Jamie, marketing for these luxury listings is really, really, really fun. Probably one of my favorite things to do is create those luxury brochures that Amy was going over. And it also just makes really good content for social media. I'm gonna go ahead and click share screen. I have to go quick. Oh, Joe, can you let me share my screen, please?
Man, somebody is sleeping today. All right, Shane, you should be good to go.
Nice. Okay, so just keep in mind, I have Maura's social media page pulled up here. And I think when you have a luxury listing, you usually have so many various beautiful components to it that you can share. So she has like this one listing that has 4 separate photos from it. And I think it just makes for great, beautiful content. And one luxury listing can just go a long way. So I just wanted to touch on that in regards to social media. But what I'm really here to talk about is marketing resource, okay? So marketing resource has a number of eBlast templates available for you to use. And they just put out a bunch of new beautiful templates that we're all really excited about, keeping things fresh. You've probably seen them come in through your inbox already. They're black and white. Typically luxury collection templates are black and white. So if some of you aren't a fan of all the Cabernet everything, well, there you go. You can market your luxury collection property without clean white black templates. And I'm just going to show you how you find that here. So I'm in my master library here in marketing resource. And to find it, you just sort by listing under topic on this left-hand menu and type in luxury in the search bar. And you have all of these beautiful new templates that they've just put up. And we also have some social media templates on the way soon that are going to look just like this. Okay. Here's one that says just listed. I think it's an absolutely gorgeous template. I'm really excited about these. Open house, clean, elegant. Let the photos do the work. Let the beautiful photo tour do the work for you. Okay. So all of these are available to you when you type in luxury and you have that luxury collection designation. Now, one nice thing about these templates on marketing resource is that it gives you the numbers back once you've sent it out to your SOI. And that's the same for those AdWorks, that boost, your social media posts. When you are syndicating your listing to all these websites, you have access to all the numbers about how many eyeballs are on each of these components. And what we have created for you here that is available today, might I add, let me find it, there it is a digital marketing report. This is going to be on Marketing Resource. And if your client is saying, what are you doing for me? Like, what have you been doing for my listing? This is a resource that we've made for you to show them exactly what you've been doing, how many people are looking at your listing, and where. So this is an example of a digital marketing template. Okay, beautiful stuff. You just scroll down here. Jamie talked about AdWorks. Here's a little section for AdWorks. It explains what AdWorks is. And then all you have to do is just plug in a screenshot of the ad, and then the number of impressions and clicks. Listing syndication, everyone gets their listing syndicated. So you have access to those numbers, and we'll cover that in another class. There's already been a class on it, so you could find that too, about how to get these numbers. All you have to do, just plug in a screenshot in these numbers and send it off to them. Email marketing, social media, Zillow we talked about, those custom property websites that every single listing gets with Spotlight, that reports you how many views you've gotten on that too, okay? And hey, maybe you didn't do any AdWorks social media advertising. You have the option to remove sections and add them as you please. So I think this is a great resource to show your clients what you've been doing and how effective it's been. If, hey, you've gotten, 5,000 views on your property website, but no offers, maybe you should probably consider a price reduction. It looks like plenty of people are seeing it, but something might be a little off. So this is a great way to provide context on the interest and the attention your property is receiving, as well as what you're doing to help market that home. Okay, and that's my quick blurb. Sorry, I went over.
No worries, Shane, lovely point. And we'll stop sharing your screen so that we can wrap this up here. Again, making sure we're doing the things. Boost marketing, digital advertising, we are doing email marketing, we're doing social media marketing, and then we're packaging it all together for a client, okay? So here's what I also recommend, is I'm not coming in to my seller to say, we're overpriced, because they made you list it at that price anyway, right? So you go out aggressive, I get it, we all get it, we all can talk about sob stories where the client just wouldn't listen, and they wanted to list that $3 million home at 3.8, and you have to get proof. This is what I love about my job, is we can give you proof. You can give yourself proof. Is those digital numbers give you proof and assets. So instead of saying, well, it's my opinion, and I've been doing this for 20 years, no one talks like that, do they, really, with that voice? Sorry, that was weird. But we want to make sure that you can say, okay, client, we are going to try it your way. We're going to try it at that price point. I am still going to bring the big guns. I'm still going to bring the digital marketing and the social media marketing, and I'm going to get out to my SOI. I'm going to hold that luxury broker open house. I'm going to do all of the things, because you might be right, client, and more power to you. Okay. So, but now,
Jamie, before you jump into the wrap up, I got a little maybe anecdote. I know we're over, but I think this is kind of explains what we're trying to do with this luxury collection. I used to work at a high-end stationery store in high school, and we sold, whatever, stationery paper and blah, that kind of stuff. And the other thing, we had a glass case of pens, like pens. And these were pens that were multiple hundreds of dollars. I mean, I in my head, as a 17-year-old kid, I couldn't imagine why anyone would spend anything on a pen. And so this one guy comes in, he's looking at the thing, and he spends $350 on a pen. And I'm a little confused. And so I'm just chatting with him, and I was like, so can I ask you what you're going to do with this pen? And he says, yeah. He goes, I'm a salesman at the Mercedes dealership down the street. And I was like, okay. And he said, so this is the pen I use when people sign to buy their new Mercedes. And I said, why do you need that? And he goes, if you just spent $95,000 on a car, I'm not going to let you sign a contract with a BIC. And that taught me a lesson for the rest of my sales career and everything else, is that the experience matters. The details matter. And this guy was willing to come out of his own pocket, spend $350 on a pen because he wanted that luxury experience to continue all the way through into delivery of these cars. And so, yeah, that was it.
Very nice, Joe. I'm gonna get you a pen for your birthday. So okay.
I don't write anything.
So wrapping up, my point with the proof is to then go back to your seller and say, okay, we've been on the market for 45 days or whatever the case may be. We've done this, we've done that, we've done this, and we have 0 offers or really no one's circling. Okay, so here's what the numbers are telling me. We're getting a lot of views, we're getting a lot of likes, we're getting a lot of, wow, that's a beautiful property. We're getting no interest, meaning no calls. People love the house, but they are getting advice either from another source, meaning a realtor, saying it's overpriced. You don't want that house. And little did they know, or little does your client realize that they'd accept a lot of offers, even if it is a little bit lower. That $3.8 million price point, they'd accept an offer at 3.5. But those other realtors are waiting for reality to hit to advise their clients properly. So you're using that proof to say, look, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make some adjustments on the marketing, and you're going to make an adjustment on the price. I would always recommend with luxury buyers, or I'm sorry, luxury sellers, to meet in the middle. It's not all on them just to change that price. It is on both of you. So now that you have the details, I am going to change some of the description. I am going to change some of the imagery. I am going to change that hero shot from the exterior to the master bath that is incredible. Okay, so you're going to tweak some of your marketing components, and they're going to tweak the price. And I find that always comes out a little smoother is here as an agent, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make these adjustments, and you're going to make the adjustment on the price. Can we meet in the middle? So I wanted a $3 million and you wanted 3.8. We're going to come back at maybe 3.25. However, you guys are the experts on price adjustments and making sure that the comps, and a lot of these luxury homes don't have comps in the neighborhood that you can rely on. So I just want to make sure that you're thinking through those components, you're adjusting your strategies to meet their needs as well. We're doing the email marketing, social media marketing, digital advertising. We are having amazing photography and some of those upgrades. We're leveraging the walkthrough tours and the Matterport. And then in the part 2 that's coming here shortly, we will go through what to do after all the basics. So today was just on the basics. Now, if any of this is over your head, check out some of our other marketing classes on how to do some of those components. But today we want to make sure that you understand those basics, those best practices for launching and advertising a luxury property from the get-go. Again, I do find value in print advertising, but we're going to cover that in phase 2. I don't think you need to spend $3,500 on a print ad for a glossy magazine out of the gate, but you might want to do that after a couple of months to kind of relaunch it. So stay tuned, and we are so happy to have you here, and we're going to stop recording here shortly, and then we'll go into some Q&A.